the thing that I'm probably most excited about, just because I'm very much involved, is the Open League. Like in a nutshell, the Open League is a long-term incentive program for TON builders and users. We launched it in March of this year, and the results are really amazing. CVL is one of the main metrics, and we aim at achieving 1 bill, hopefully by January of next year. So we're close to the goal, but the question is whether we can maintain it at the same level, right? So this is also a very important mission of us.
Welcome to the Edge Podcast. I'm DeFi Dad here with Nomadic from 4RC. Today's show spotlights TON, a blockchain network created with a technology designed by Telegram. In this episode, we talk about how TON leverages the distribution of 900 million Telegram downloads to on-ramp new users to their ecosystem of apps, and how they grew their total value locked 50x this year from 15 million to 750 million US dollars. But before we do, just a quick word from our sponsors who make the Edge Podcast possible. Power up your portfolio by borrowing, lending, and multiplying your favorite assets, made safe and easy by the industry-leading automation tools at SUMMER.FI. SUMMER.FI offers a curated DeFi experience to access the highest quality protocols and strategies. Discover new earn strategies for your portfolio in a user-friendly app designed to filter based on the tokens you hold, the networks you transact on, the protocols you trust, and the highest available yields. Learn more today at SUMMER.FI, the best place to borrow and earn in DeFi. Tired of hopping between tabs, searching for new tokens before the hype catches on? Try MATCHA.XYZ, the DEX aggregator from 0x. Matcha connects hundreds of DEXs so you can trade millions of tokens and find fresh new drops. Matcha works out the best route to save you money on every trade. Swaps are free, and Matcha has everything you need to trade on-chain. Gasless swaps, limit orders, and cross-chain, all in one place. Search Trade Done at MATCHA.XYZ. Introducing Flat Money, the first decentralized, delta-neutral FLATCOIN built on Base with sustainable yield that's completely untethered from legacy finance. Because DeFi needs an uncensorable based unit of currency. You can mint unit with RETH, which is held in the protocol's shared liquidity pool, where it's borrowed by leveraged traders. As a leveraged trader, you can deposit your margin collateral and go long on RETH. If you're trading in the perpetual futures market, you'll pay unit holders to open leverage positions. If you're holding unit, you'll earn yield from liquidations, borrow rate, and trading fees. Preserve your purchasing power and offset your exposure to crypto market volatility. Learn more at flat.money. Catch the tide of the mainnet launch of Puffer Finance. Whether you're an Ethereum staker or an aspiring node operator, Puffer delivers the decentralization revolution with its cutting-edge technology. Start with just 2 ETH to unlock the potential of native liquid restaking and maximize your earnings. Join the movement now and anchor your stake at puffer.fi. All right, let's introduce the TON Foundation ecosystem lead, Alena. Alena, welcome to the Edge Podcast. How are you doing?
Hey guys, doing great. Thank you very much for having me. Very excited.
So just a few months ago, I wrote up a tutorial on exploring the TON DeFi ecosystem. And it was really the first time I had taken a hard look since the start of the year. Actually, it's probably the first time I've taken a hard look in many years. I had followed the early origins of TON, kind of like forgot about it, and then realized that there is, as of today, there's 750 million total value locked now in DeFi on TON. And so it's an impressive amount of growth since the start of the year. I believe there was somewhere around like 10 to 15 million in US dollars that was deposited on TON. And so we're going to talk all today about why is that? Like, why have you been able to grow so much? What's attracting new users? And what's the next act for TON to continue on this growth path? So, Alena, why don't we start with your background? Just how did you get into crypto? What can you tell us about, how you got started?
Yeah, sure. So just to kick you off very briefly, because my story can be too long. So I actually started from the research standpoint. Back at university, I was doing some, paperwork, just digging into crypto. I was really interested in the technology itself, not really in investing or, getting some profit immediately. And so I got really curious, obviously, diving deeper into such topics as the use of blockchain in real estate, for example. So tokenization of real estate was something that really attracted my attention. And then I even joined one crypto startup that was indeed focused on tokenization of real estate in the US. So I would say that was my kind of first Web3 experience. And then a couple more projects. And I basically ended up running my own accelerator for early stage Web3 startups with 2 more partners. That was a very exciting and very useful experience. And this is indeed how I met people from TON and specifically from TON Foundation at one of the meetups. I think at Dev Connect it was. No, actually, it was even during my own accelerator, yes. So that first cohort that we were running in Turkey, I actually just invited some representatives from the TF, from TON Foundation, so that they could just share the news and attract developers because the accelerator itself was kind of chain agnostic. And so that guy, he was just speaking about TON from the main stage, and that was actually already after Singapore and Token 2049, where this official strategic partnership between TON and Telegram was announced. So everyone got really excited, but no one was really, no one really understood what exactly it meant and what potential it could give. And from that moment on, we just kept in touch, and then I met more and more people, got really curious, and I really saw the unique value proposition of this ecosystem. And then I just joined the team, and it's still, every day is like my first day because it's all very, very dynamic, super fast, and super exciting.
So I mean to be transparent about some of my initial thoughts with TON. And again, this is like why I've been so like eager and curious to learn more from you today. I think years ago, I thought, okay, this is a bull run sort of move to see like a major brand like Telegram getting involved in crypto. And obviously the reality is now it's delivered this ecosystem with almost $1 billion deposited. And so I'm wondering if you could just talk a little bit more about the origins of TON, and if you can also just elaborate on the connection between TON and the Telegram community, the Telegram team, whatever.
Yeah, sure. So once again, briefly, the project was initially abandoned after a situation that came up with the SEC. And so it was actually just taken up by an independent community. And so people from the community just kept on developing the chain, the infrastructure around it. And then definitely people from the business side started joining, right? So this brand appeared and external developers started coming to build something on top of the chain. And this is actually how TON Foundation was born. So we are a nonprofit organization registered in Switzerland that is essentially responsible for supporting the teams that are building in the ecosystem, right? So we are not related to the team that actually develops the chain, right? So we are a nonprofit that launches different support and incentive programs for our builders. And so talking about our relationship with Telegram, once again, it was officially announced at Token 2049 in Singapore last September. And the official formula is that we are basically strategic partners, which means that TON is the Web3 partner of Telegram, right? So Telegram is not involved in the development of the chain or, in designing any of the initiatives that we're doing. That's on our side. We're just official partners, seeing eye to eye in terms of how we can build, an entire new ecosystem on Web3 rails inside the super app, which is definitely Telegram.
Just getting into the ecosystem, I'm curious, what you think has been the biggest catalyst for this impressive growth in 2024. Is there something that you can point to, or I guess how do you manage growth on your side? We like to use TVL. It can sometimes be a crude metric, but yeah, how are you tracking this internally?
No, exactly. TVL is one of the main metrics, and we aim at achieving 1 bill, hopefully by January of next year. So we're very close. You've mentioned that we now have the TVL of more than 750 million. It was a bit more a couple of weeks ago, but we all understand that it fluctuates. So we're close to the goal, but the question is whether we can maintain it at the same level, right? So this is also a very important mission of us for the upcoming months, just because this growth was in months, was very impressive. Definitely everyone was paying attention, everyone was impressed, but like our long-term goal is to keep it at the same level and never let it drop. So the TVL is definitely the first metric. And then the second metric is obviously on-chain wallets. So we aim at achieving 500 million on-chain wallets by 2028. We still have time. So it will depend on the methodology as well. Probably we will integrate some kind of off-chain elements there, like, for example, accounts in @wallet. I'm pretty sure we're going to talk about the wallet further on during this conversation. So we'll probably add those accounts as well, because they are obviously an important part of the ecosystem, even though they're not like purely on-chain. So we will see. But those two metrics are, let's say, something that drives all the initiatives that we're launching from the side of TON Foundation. So, answering your question about the catalyst of this impressive growth, I would say a few elements contributed to it. The first one being definitely the appearance, the launch of native USDT on TON and the incentive program that we launched around it. So the pools and dexes, the ones with TON and USDT, were like hugely incentivized. And this is definitely one of the main drivers of this growth. Just because like everyone understands that it's a pretty low risk investment, let's say. Once again, no investment advice here, but this is pretty obvious that there is a difference in terms of like putting your liquidity into a pair with some, like just some token on TON chain or USDT and TON coin. So that was a very important initiative, and we're very happy that we managed to attract all this liquidity. And now the question is like where we're going to direct it, whether we are on time in terms of creating other lucrative and attractive opportunities for those users that deposited their money into those pools, right? So the program is ongoing. So I think we're going to announce the next phase very, very soon. So this is also something to bear in mind. And then apart from it, the thing that I'm probably most excited about, just because I'm very much involved, is the Open League. Like in a nutshell, the Open League is a long-term incentive program for TON builders and users. We launched it in March of this year, and the results are really amazing. So the Open League essentially consists of the open battle for TON teams. And this is something that no other ecosystem, I think, has ever launched, at least according to what I have done my research on. So just imagine like TON teams, they are competing every season for large prizes, competing between each other according to their product category. So we have a separate leaderboard for DeFi protocols, separate leaderboard for just decentralized applications like games or launchpads or NFT marketplaces, etc. And then we have a separate leaderboard for tokens, like projects with tokens, and a lot of meme coins are taking part, which makes it even more, like fun and exciting, because like imagine a token without any product behind it winning the competition and just then making a large airdrop for the community, because this is the essence of the project. And then a leaderboard for NFTs. So the thesis here is just like, guys, come to TON, launch your application, join this battle. We're going to track your metrics, monitor your growth, and you can see everything in real time. And this is a very important and very easy and understandable indicator. Like everything is transparent. You can come to the landing page anytime and check the metrics of your favorite project and see that, all those wallets, on-chain wallets that we declare in like official statistics in all those articles in the media, they're actually true, because you can see them like totally publicly, transparently. So yeah, launch your application, join the leaderboard, win the competition, a lot of new teams that have just recently joined managed to take like top ranks in the leaderboard, which is absolutely amazing. Like take YesCoin or who else, like Momo AI. Those teams joined the leaderboard recently, and they already won a lot of money, actually, because we're distributing a lot every single season. And then apart from it, so going back to the DeFi narrative, so projects that perform best in the token leaderboard, they also have additional incentives, additional rewards from us that go directly to the users, to essentially their liquidity providers on DEXs, right? So now you can open the leaderboard and you will see a label boosted in front of the name of the token. That means that we're providing up to $100K dollars in Toncoin per season per each project that is participating. And this money goes directly to liquidity providers. So if you check the APR on DEXs right now, it's pretty high, pretty attractive. No investment advice, but this is a good opportunity just, to dive deeper into the projects. Because they didn't win the competition. I mean, they won the competition for a reason, right? And so this is something that should drive your decisions. So you can do some research and get engaged. Also because all those projects, they are super active right now, just because without their communities and without the community showing some activity, they can never win the battle and win the prize and this money. So a lot is happening right now on Ton. And so according to our official stats, up to 10% of this TVL growth can be accounted indeed to the Open League and those liquidity incentive program that we launched within the Open League. And then other factors, of course, but the main question, once again, is where we want and can direct this liquidity to. And we're actually working very hard on that because all our DeFi protocols, they're actually ready to absorb all that money. Just more incentives are needed, and we are once again working on that.
Alena, just to clarify, the Open League, is that users competing against one another? Is that apps or protocols competing against one another, or is it all of the above?
Yeah, it's essentially, so like the first element, the core element, I would say, is for teams. So you build your product, a game, you show some growth, some metrics, and then you join the leaderboard and you compete. And you win a prize, for example, and then this money goes directly to you. You can spend it on a community airdrop, on marketing, on, listing on a centralized exchange, whatever. This money goes to you. But most projects, they prefer doing airdrops, of course, just to reward and say thank you to their communities for their activity and their engagement. And then users, they do not compete between each other, even though we do have other formats like a trading competition, for example, that just ended. So you can take part as an individual trader or take part in a squad and also win rewards there, or become a liquidity provider and earn rewards there.
Before we get back to the show, just a quick thanks to our sponsor at Mantle Network, the layer 2 that pioneered the 5th largest LST with 1.6 billion TVL called MATCHA. Since July 1st, Mantle is running a 100-day airdrop campaign called Metamorphosis to distribute a new governance token for the Mantle liquid staking protocol called Cook. The community can earn points for Cook called Powder by holding METH in Metamorphosis and simultaneously enjoying other yield and reward opportunities in the Mantle ecosystem. Users can also earn Powder by staking MNT in the Mantle Rewards Station. For more details, go to the Mantle blog at mantle.xyz/blog and follow the 0xmantle handle on Twitter for more updates.
Alena, I just want to walk through the user onboarding process a little bit because, funny enough, you actually got me onboarded to Ton and helped me create my first wallet. Yeah, and it was extremely easy, and I think it's worth kind of explaining that process a bit, and then just how you connect to an app within, I guess, the Telegram interface is kind of interesting as well. I think people should hear about.
So, okay, let's focus on that first use case. So, Nomadic, you remember, I just sent you one crypto dollar a few weeks ago. So it works actually pretty easily. So we have the wallet inside Telegram, right? That's an amazing product. That's exactly the window to Web3 that all of us are so excited about. So the wallet is actually developed and designed by an independent team in the Ton ecosystem. So they are a portfolio company of Top, which is the largest venture builder on Ton that has been with us actually since the very inception. And so they are developing a custodial wallet inside Telegram. So it's literally embedded into the interface of Telegram in some regions where the so-called rollout already happened. So there's a list of countries where it's already openly available to anyone in those specific regions. What it essentially means is that the user can actually find the wallet in the settings and then in the attachments in any chat with any of their friends, right? So this is exactly how we did it with Nomadic. I just opened our chat. I clicked on the attachments. I clicked on the wallet. I had some Ton coin and USDT there, of course. And so I just sent you one crypto dollar. This is exactly how you can onboard people into Web3 because they will see that the wallet, easily appears in the interface unless you are in a country where the rollout will probably not happen anytime in the near future, like the US, for example, and then some other countries on that list. So it's not available there. But if you are, somewhere in Europe, like in France, where the rollout has not been completed yet, but that country is not on the prohibited list, the wallet will automatically appear in the interface if someone sends you $1. This is exactly what happened with Nomadic, right? So you have your wallet. I really hope you're using it. If not, it's gonna be a problem. Anyways, so payments is definitely one of the major use cases for our ecosystem, especially after the appearance of native USDT. Like the number of use cases has grown immensely. So you can basically pay, for Steam, for any type of subscription. You can buy gift cards, just whatever, right? You can buy VPN or digital SIM cards, like all inside Telegram with your crypto wallet. Very easy. Then apart from it, just to mention it for your audience, because I bet most of them are very much into DeFi. So the wallet has a self-custody part as well, which is called Ton Space. You once again need to enable it in the settings of the wallet, if I'm not mistaken, in the upper left corner. So you just need to enable Ton Space, and then you're going to have basically an analog to MetaMask inside your Telegram wallet, which is also super cool. And then Ton ecosystem definitely boasts very strong, great solutions in terms of self-custody wallets that have been there since the beginning, like Tonkeeper, MyTon Wallet, Ton Hub, and others. This can be downloaded in Apple Store easily. So payments, crypto payments are the first use case, I would say. And then the second use case, which I think is super relevant and super popular right now, are all those easy onboarding apps, kind of games. But once again, it depends on the definition. I'm sure some of you have heard of Hamster Combat or YesCoin or NotCoin, of course, Catizen, and other apps of this type. So what they actually created is an entirely new narrative on onboarding massive audience, really masses of Web2 people into Web3 through different ways. It's the main thesis here is to make it super simple. You open the app. Okay, how you get to know the app? You get a referral link from your friend, or you find it in a post in some Telegram community. Those are the most common ways to discover those apps, right? Or you can find them in some catalogs. I don't know. So you open the game through this referral link, and then you just start getting involved into a very simple gameplay. For example, in Hamster Combat, you can click on a hamster and then open different cards, because through these cards, you actually develop your own centralized exchange, just because according to the narrative of the game, you are the CEO of a crypto exchange. of your preference. Could be Binance, could be OKX. And so you open those cards, like find daily combos, find different chiffers. So the gameplay itself is very engaging, but it's super, super easy. And so you do it on a daily basis. This is very addictive because there are also these tricks which you should, perform every day. Unless you do, you lose points. So you basically gather farm these points right now, and then everyone understands that they're going to be converted into a token. And Hamster Combat has already officially announced that they're going to launch their token on TON. And many games of this type, they follow the same scheme. And this scheme was essentially invented by NotCoin back in January, or even before that. So the game was officially announced at TON Gateway. That's our annual conference. It took part. It was held in November of last year. So Sasha, the founder of NotCoin, announced the game there, and then in January the active phase started. So people were basically just clicking on a coin on the screen, and then were onboarded in a very effective way into different TON products. So they needed to perform very simple quests, like, open this NFT marketplace and buy an NFT, or stake some TON with this liquidity staking protocol, right? And for performing the simple actions, they were first onboarded into pretty complex Web3 products, and then secondly, they were rewarded for that. And everyone understood the hints that a large community airdrop was coming, and it came indeed. So a couple of months ago, the TGE took place, and the listing on major centralized exchanges like Binance and OKX and KuCoin and Bybit. And so the team actually directed almost 90%, if I remember correctly, of the token supply to the community. And an average airdrop per wallet amounted to $200, which is, pretty impressive numbers, given that you didn't need to, perform any complex activity like, in any L2 that is now doing an airdrop, or rather promising an airdrop, right? You didn't need to create a lot of wallets, to create a complex software to direct your liquidity to different DeFi protocols. You didn't need to do that. You just needed to get engaged into a fun game and play it with your friends. That was all about it. And so, the launch was very successful, and then a lot of games just kind of replicated, but definitely improved those mechanics and made them even more exciting, even more entertaining, just as Hamster Combat, which I already described. Then we have YesCoin, then we have Catizen, which is not really a clicker game. It's rather a play to airdrop where you breed and grow your cats, and everyone loves cats. And it's still very, very simple, but there's already a lot of crypto activity inside the app. So unlike NotCoin or Hamster Combat, that didn't want to, scare their users with anything too complex, anything related to Web3 directly inside the game. Catizen started to do it from almost day one. So, and they already onboarded a lot of people into TON, because there were crypto payments in the game, and then they're going to launch their token soon. They're doing a lot of collaboration, so their community can be indeed called proper crypto audience. And so there are many, many more onboarding tools coming to TON and showing their effectiveness. But I would say the key ingredient of success here is definitely simplicity, and then the second one is rewards. And once again, the easiness of getting those rewards.
Yeah, I was going to ask you just about, I'm seeing the mindshare growing for users in the gaming ecosystem on TON. And then I'm sort of across the investing side of Web3 gaming. It's a niche I like to focus on. And I'm seeing pivots and or additions in roadmaps for people kind of frantically trying to extend their game. If it wasn't already planning to be on TON, get some sort of new representation of their game on TON, because I think Web3 builders are seeing the popularity there emerging, and I think they're seeing the distribution that sits within the TON ecosystem. But kind of curious, what else do you think is pulling people this direction? I I mean, it's probably the incentives as well, but yeah, like what can you see kind of behind the scenes with these Web3 builders that are now discovering and focusing on TON?
I mean, you're absolutely right. And I don't think I should add something on top here, just because the distribution is obviously the main reason here, because everyone understands that that's the main hurdle for Web3 projects, like to attract the audience, because like, where is this audience? Where are those people? They're in Web2. Why would they even care to think about Web3, to do some very complex tasks and, to download a wallet, to remember the seed phrase, and then to lose everything? No one wants it, right? And here we have like 900 million people that are already sitting in one place, which is Telegram, and that and the entire range of simple tools and apps, Telegram mini apps, that can, I mean, I'm not saying this is super simple and that all those like 900 million would want to, start using crypto at the spur of a moment. Of course not. This is a very hard work that we're doing every day. But still, it's much easier, and there are already like ready tools to do it. I think this is something that attracts developers right now. And then, yes, of course, like our incentive programs, we have a grant program as well. The Open League is the major initiative. Me personally and my team, we're trying to create all those kind of automated but also personalized tools and instruments and guides and instructions and documents, so that, developers can just come, read all those materials, watch some videos, and understand how it works, both from the technical standpoint, because it's not easy to get onboarded into our languages, which are tagged and fancy. So this is also definitely, it requires a lot of effort. But through the improvement of documentation, we're kind of handling this issue. And then secondly, from the business standpoint, we're always happy to help from the marketing side, from the business development side, just to make sure that every project finds its way, its spot in the ecosystem, that the ecosystem is super open, like anyone can come and build, but it's obviously very important for the founder, for the builder to understand what opportunities are ahead. And my personal mission is to make sure that everyone knows about it.
As a Telegram user, like I know like how addictive the app is. I mean, it's very important for my own workflow just because so many conversations happen there. For whatever reason, the global crypto industry has really adopted using Telegram. So I think of Telegram as a vehicle for distributing the TON, ecosystem of applications now. It's part of what like draws everyone into TON. Can we backtrack though to what are some of the blockchain elements that TON is built on? Like, we don't have to go into the weeds on any of this. I'm simply asking, like, if you can kind of just at a high level talk us through like what are the major pieces and the engine that is the tech stack behind TON?
Sure. From the very high level, like we are an L1, non-EVM L1. So with those two major languages that I mentioned, tagged and fancy. So fancy obviously comes from the C family of languages. From my personal experience of working with developers, they say that, yes, it does take effort, especially if you have been coding on Solidity. It would take you like around a month to, get onboarded into fancy or tagged. But once again, through the improvement of all the tooling and documentation, we are, I think, removing this barrier, which indeed was a barrier back then, like even a year ago. But now a lot of improvement has been done. And then talking about the technical benefits and advantages, competitive advantages of the chain, I would definitely name like the speed and the scalability thanks to the sharding technology, which is the main element of the architecture. Once again, very high level, I wouldn't say this is something super unique. So we know that a lot of other chains, not a lot, but several of them do use sharding, for example. And then, like, for example, the cost of transaction for Ethereum L2s now is super low. It's lower than on Ton, so I wouldn't call it, like a super competitive advantage that we have, even though we are cheaper compared to other L1s. But yeah, I think that's a combination of those technical capabilities that I mentioned, and then definitely the distribution, because you cannot build a product not taking into account the business perspective, and we have a very strong one.
Tether is a decentralized protocol that enables anyone to borrow or lend using any Ethereum asset. You can think of a Tether loan as a DeFi cash advance, one where you can use any of your favorite ERC20 tokens as collateral to get an instant USDC loan. Discover the power of a DeFi cash advance today at Tether.org.
At Moonbeam, we're building a world where the wonders of decentralized technology are accessible to everyone. We're advancing Web3 integration through product enhancements, funding for innovation, and investment in our partner ecosystem. Our product roadmap includes ZK initiatives, tokenomics updates, and 8x throughput. Our $10 million innovation fund invests in startups that deliver cutting-edge solutions for RWAs and Web3 gaming, and our partner ecosystem continues to grow through grants and incentives. Moonbeams is delivering frictionless user and builder experiences to create the future of the internet on-chain. Join us by participating in the Moonrise campaign today.
Alena, what about when it comes to security? Curious if Ton has undergone any audits. Just generally, why should users feel safe to put their dollars and transact on the chain?
Yeah, sure. So we know the main principle: do your own research and be very careful about your funds in Web3, right? But obviously, in terms of security, we're quite, well positioned as much as we can. Definitely, the chain itself has been audited multiple times by CertiK and other auditors, and we actually we continuously increase the list of auditors that work with us, because obviously for them that's also quite an effort, to get onboarded into the tech specifics. But once again, the list has been extended greatly in the recent times. And then talking about the DeFi protocols, you should definitely, do your own research on each of them and see whether, they do mention it in the documentation, of course, and we seriously insist they do. So the major protocols have been audited. Our lending protocol, the audit is going to be is going to be completed very soon. So we're still in the early days, but I would say that in terms of security, each protocol is doing its best to ensure the highest level possible. And we are definitely supporting them on that side in terms of once again, putting them in touch with top level auditors, and then once again, making sure that all the major platforms have gone through the entire range of tests that is needed.
Alena, before we close out, do you want to just talk a little bit more about how do you foresee Ton sustaining its growth trajectory? That has been remarkable this year. I think, as of this recording, Ton is number 10 or number 11 if we were to rank TVL across all the different L1s and L2s. And again, as much as I think Nomadic noted, it's a crude metric. It really isn't fair to compare across, all the different networks out there. It can be kind of like an apples and oranges comparison at time. It speaks volumes of the growth of the Ton ecosystem. So anyways, how do you think about continuing down this path towards mass adoption?
That's a very good concluding question, actually. And this is something that, we're thinking about every single day during our daily and weekly syncs with the team. So actually a lot of plans on the agenda. We're going to be implementing them progressively. But I would say the main things we're going to do is, first of all, to continue developing DeFi as such, just because, once again, we need to direct that liquidity somewhere and create very, attractive and very easy, understandable DeFi opportunities for the users that are now taking part in farming, within the Open League and in the TON USDT pools. So yeah, definitely helping and working hand in hand with our DeFi protocols like major DEXs, STONFi and DDust, EVA, our lending protocol, StormTrade, our PerpDex and Trador, and other PerpDex as well, and then all those projects that are being built right now and which we are expecting to go mainnet very soon. So yeah, providing rewards and then also making sure that this is a sustainable yield that those protocols are able to generate so that they do not need to depend on, any sponsorship and any reward programs organized by us. So that's the first thing. So I would say like DeFi as such. And then, yeah, so this is more related to the TVL metric that I mentioned at the very beginning, which is definitely something that is driving our initiatives. We will also need to work on the utilization rate of the TVL because it's still pretty low compared to, for example, Arbitrum or Solana. So the trading volume should definitely be something that we should be working on, right? And then the second pillar, the second part about which I'm super excited are definitely products. So I would say another unique value proposition of TON is that we're about building good products for the Web2 audience. This also comes mostly from the background of a lot of people from the ecosystem that used to work in, for example, VK, which is a large social media messenger in the CIS region, and then in other blockchains as well. But what I'm trying to say here is that those are people, in the TON Foundation and then in the ecosystem project with very good product expertise and with experience of launching products for very large-scale audience that actually worked and that went viral at a certain point and then managed to sustain that growth to retain the user. And this is something that we're trying to achieve here through working really tightly, really closely with major teams, improving the user experience, giving our advisory, our recommendations, and making sure that, once again, they have all the instruments to achieve this growth, this long-term and sustainable growth. Not just launching a clicker game and then ending up, with zero retained users in a couple of months. This is not something that we want. We want these people to see the entire range of opportunities that Web3 offers, and just, to give them, like, first of all, the ownership and then the opportunity to monetize what they're doing, to monetize their skills, and also definitely to have fun with their friends, to engage in communities, and, just to become an inherent part of what we're doing and what we're creating.
Alena, this is a great place, I think, for us to wrap up. So I want to remind our listeners that they can learn more at ton.org. They should follow ton_blockchain on Twitter. They should follow Alenka_W3 on Twitter. That's Alena's personal handle for more updates on the ecosystem. And then we'll put that all into our show notes so you can easily reference that. Alena, thanks so much for coming on. As I expected, there is a lot more to the story behind all this growth. And again, I've really enjoyed just beginning to explore the DeFi ecosystem. If I weren't a U.S. citizen, I'd be definitely trying and testing out more there. So I'm very hopeful. Maybe a change of administration here in the next year will open up the floodgates to us being able to access some of the restricted dApps out there. But as long as you're not a U.S. citizen, you should absolutely hop on to ton.org and you can get started there with some easy steps to create a wallet. Alena, any final word though for us? And again, just thank you so much for your time.
Guys, thanks to you. That was really amazing. Really enjoyed spending some time with you. My last note would probably be like, guys, if you want to be as happy and as excited as I am about Web3, come to TON. This is definitely the place to be.
Thanks everyone for tuning in. If you're a talented founder or developer, please consider reaching out to our team at fourthrevolution.capital. And for future episodes of the Edge podcast, please check out our link tree at edge_pod.